Or sometimes it does attract birds.
Okay.
Motion on the water.
Okay. I'm not arguing with that. But you can also say that sometimes it can flare birds.
Sure. All right, and welcome to part 2 of this week's YAWA.
I'm Kat, the dog trainer.
I'm still the guy with the pink gun.
In case you didn't know. And that would be because you don't subscribe and have notifications turned on.
Or this is your first time to the channel and you just happen to click on the fact that we titled this with something that we're about to talk about.
And you were interested to see what we were going to talk about. So now you know who we are and that you should subscribe.
Yeah. Okay, so in the last episode, we talked about some really cool things. We got some really great questions, and we're going to start this one off with one that I've gotten a ton lately. Now,
and it was actually emailed in. So people also ask us all the time, how can I submit a question for your guys' YAWA? You can submit them when we post asking for questions.
That's typically the best way to do it.
It is the best way because it keeps it really organized all in one place,
yes,
so that when I go to look for questions, I can find them easily. But you can do it that way. You can send it in a message on Instagram or Facebook. You can comment on a video that we've already posted on YouTube. Those are definitely harder for me to filter through though. Send us an email or reply to the story post that I post as well. So lots of options though.
Yeah, lots of options. So this is messages from Alex Williams, and it says here, I have a 9-week-old chocolate lab retriever puppy, and I had a few questions for you. 1, she understands the basic cues of here. Oh, thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate the fact that you follow along with our content and understand that we utilize the term cue, not command. So thank you for that. It says she understands the basic cues, here, sit, kennel, but only really does them in the middle of a clicker training session. If I say here any other time, I'm ignored 90% of the time. Do we need to just keep working on it, or where are we at? So that was question number 1. Now, the reason I really wanted to answer this question is because, literally probably 5 times today, I've already answered this question for people, and it is...
So it's a really common one. And you're not alone.
You're not alone. Everybody is feeling the same thing of, in the sessions, the dog's great. Out of the sessions, I have no focus or attention at all. Now, my go-to for that is, okay, then let's take and utilize the entire time period that you're going to be out and interacting with your dog as the training session. Don't have a short 4-minute window. Let's incorporate that we do 20 reps in. Let's incorporate 20 reps over the course of 4 hours. So they're playing, they're interacting, they're doing their thing. You call them back for a basic cue that they already understand here, and show them that they can get rewarded all day long. But you're going to do that with their meal. So they're going to eat approximately, give or take, based on age and meal and whatever else, 2 cups of dog food a day. You're going to divide that into 2 meals probably. Make sure you have it measured out so that you know, and then just give them small amounts of that throughout the entire day. And you're going to keep their focus more because they're going to be willing and ready to eat most of the time, as well as you're going to be able to show them, I can get rewarded anytime throughout the day. So I should be paying attention. And then you're going to really bring out that gambler in your individual dog. And it says, ooh, maybe I should try this time. Ooh, maybe I should try this time. Yes, I won. No, I didn't. Maybe next time. And when you do that variable reinforcement and incorporate it throughout your day, you're going to see a drastically more consistent puppy.
We call that generalizing the training a lot of times, and we've referred to that in other videos and other situations as well. So if you're unsure what that term means, it's not just during your meal and training session for 10 minutes that you're focused.
In this one specific area of your house or...
Yes. It's allowing us to generalize that you need to be listening, paying attention, because there's a chance that when I ask you to do something at another time, it's also important because there are food rewards also available at that time.
Yep. Next question was, she got pretty good at letting me know when she needs to go potty in her crate at night, but we still have several accidents throughout the day in the house, and I'm worried she's developing a habit, which is also something we talk about all the time. Anything a dog is doing, they're conditioning themselves to. So you need to recognize patterns in your training regimen or in the life of your dog and say, that's a pattern that doesn't look like it's something I want to continue to develop. how do we break that and start something new? So it says, I am with her at this point in time, nearly 24 hours a day, but she sneaks them in when I turn my back for 5 minutes. She goes outside often, but does not hesitate to go inside either. Any secrets that can really nail this down? Now, my response to him was, because I did respond to this one already because it was a while ago that this came through, but these were good questions.
Okay.
So my response to this was, watch our video, a full day of potty training in the life of a puppy. And we actually utilize, is that Thunder?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thunder. One of our newest puppies. This is a newer video, and it's actually 24 hours from waking up first thing in the morning, all of our daily routine, the puppy's daily routine, which incorporated training sessions, potty breaks, playtime, potty breaks, playtime, potty breaks, training sessions, potty breaks, potty breaks, potty.
If you can tell, there's a theme. We do a lot of potty breaks to build on success.
Yes.
We even went out to dinner that night. So he had to spend some time in a crate while we were gone and then come back and have a potty break. So all the things in his daily routine, you get to see in a video, broken down, time lapse, that sort of thing. So it's really helpful video, but continue.
No, if you can't, if you're struggling a little bit with your young puppy and potty training and trying to find a routine that works for you, definitely take a look at that, because people are wanting to know how much time can they spend in the crate? How much time should they be spending out playing? What should I be doing? And that shows what we did 100% that day with that puppy. So
the other thing that I want to throw in to respond to this question is, he mentioned he's got a 9-week-old puppy. The fact that his 9-week-old puppy is already responding to hear, sit, and kennel pretty consistently is very impressive.
That's awesome.
But also that he's still struggling with some potty training at 9 weeks old isn't unexpected. Puppies have really underdeveloped bladders. Most people get their puppies at around 8 weeks old. So having your puppy for only a week and being able to accomplish all of those training goals, as well as continuing to work on potty training, is a realistic expectation. So don't think, oh, I've got my puppy for a week. Our potty training should be solid, should be golden. We should never have any more accidents in the house, because that is not normal.
So what would Thunder be now? 15
weeks.
Coming up on 16 weeks. So 15 weeks old.
Well, okay, I guess he's 15 weeks old. He will be 16 weeks old. So I guess he's coming up on that at the end of the week. You're right.
Between 15 and 16 weeks old, folks. Between 3 and 4 months old. That was the generalization that I wanted to make, is between about 3 and 4 months old is when we've been able to be a lot more lenient with his time of unsupervisedness. He gets to come in. He gets to play in a slightly less supervised, constant in and out and in and out and in and out regimen.
We're not really setting timers for him anymore. It's just, it's probably about time that we try a potty break, because he's gained that bladder control. But it's taken close to
about a month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half for that consistency with that schedule of going out and his bladder developing to get to the point where we're pretty much accident free, unless we do something completely stupid, let him tank on water and then ignore him in the house. And
you start to recognize individual patterns that he is displaying, or he will let us know when he starts to go back to, like, we usually go out a specific door, which is what we always recommend that you do, is try and keep things consistent that way. He starts headed that direction. Well, the only time he starts heading that direction is when he needs to go to the bathroom. So
he also starts to act a little antsier, where, he might be laying down, chewing on a dog bone or something. And then he's getting up and then he goes, I'll go lay down for a second. But he's hopping up and going back and forth quite a bit. And you're like, you're, doing the potty dance. Yep. So keep in mind, your puppy's bladder is going to develop over time. And it does sound like your puppy's really intelligent too, that you started that clicker training and worked on a lot of behaviors. You can always clicker train or bell train your puppy to tell you when they need to go outside. So that's also an option that you can try. That's something that we typically don't have to resort to. We usually are able to evaluate their behavior, like that antsy behavior, the potty dance behavior, headed to the door behavior. And that allows us to know, it's time for a break, not, you go and ring a bell. But I know a lot of people that have a lot of success with their puppies ringing a bell to tell them they need to go out.
So a great question, one that I thought we definitely needed to get to, and we didn't have time last week, and that's when it kind of came in for. So the next thing I want to mention to you guys is if you have made it this far in the video, huzzah, we appreciate you watching, and we appreciate everybody that watches. And of the last month, it looks like 70% of the people that watched our videos did not subscribe. So if you are a part of that 70%, hit the subscribe button now. What's our next question?
Next question is from Instagram, from JH98.
And the UK is kicking Canada's butt right now. So Canada, we appreciate you guys. You're connected to us. We appreciate the UK too, but a little friendly competition in here. There's a lot of.
Oh yeah.
It's a tight race there. Italy coming in fourth. Come on, Italy.
But to get back to the question that I was about to ask, would you be able to apply your training tips to a 3.5-year-old adoptive GSP? So this is a great question.
You can't teach old dogs new tricks.
Yes, you can. Our mantra is, yes, you can always teach an old dog new tricks, though it usually takes a little bit longer than when you start with a blank slate with a brand new puppy, because, they've had 3.5 years to get in their groove.
Just takes longer to
condition those habits. Yeah. So what they've been doing, but you definitely can apply the same training tips through clicker training, basic obedience. Those 3.5-year-old dogs typically have a lot more mental maturity and are ready for more training at that point. So you could fly through those puppy training basics videos if you're following along, and just applying those same things to an older dog is definitely something.
And this is the thing that gets brought up a ton that we try and stress, but it's still hard for people to wrap their brains around this idea, basically. And the idea is that the age of your dog doesn't necessarily matter as much as, are they understanding, and do they have an understanding of step 1 before you move to step 2? That's it. So you can start at step 1, the first video in our training series, with your dog at 3.5 years old and go, okay, we've taught them, we've charged the clicker, then we've worked through these obedience things. Yep, they're good. Now we start to incorporate all of them into a single session. Yep, they're good with that. So then you just move down the line of videos. Same thing with that 8-week-old puppy or 12 weeks old, or whenever you are finding our channel and finding our videos. Doesn't matter if your dog is 8 weeks or 3.5 years old or whatever. You start at video 1, teach your dog that, and then when they have an understanding and you feel like, yeah, they're doing really good with this, move to the next one and continue down that path. People want to have a specific, what do I need to be doing between this age and this age? And there's such a huge variance in personalities of individual dogs that it's very hard to actually write something out and put it on paper. And it really messes with both Kat and my brains to go, okay, so a 4-month-old puppy needs to be doing, because it's not the case. And
it's not the case for every different dog as well as every situation and every breed, as well as, some people don't find our channel or find our videos until their puppy's 4 months old, 6 months old.
And they feel like they missed out.
And they're like, oh, well, now my puppy's behind. We can't ever catch up. Or where do I start? Well, you start at the beginning. Just like if you had an 8-week-old puppy, you start at step 1, you move to step 2 when they're ready.
It's the exact same thing that we do when your dog comes in for training. Those of you that have sent your dogs or are interested in sending your dogs to us for training, we start at square 0 as if your dog knows nothing. We take as much information as we can so that we have an understanding of what you feel like your dog is good at and what they are struggling with and what direction you want to go. But then we start them at the beginning and we say, okay, we're going to teach you this and this and this. And dogs that truly have a good understanding, they go down the list in a single day. And you go, okay, well, you are good at this and this and this and this and this, but we don't want to have a hole in that program.
So we don't make assumptions, even though, clients might tell us, oh yeah, my dog is already had a gunfire introduction. We're good to go. Well, I'm not just going to go start planting birds and blasting away over your dog. I need to see it with my own eyes first, evaluate it myself. And so we start before bird and gun introduction.
Because everybody knows what assuming does.
Yep, I do. I'll put the equation down here. So I thought this was a really good question coming up from Brenton Ward on Facebook. What's the best way to encourage a more aggressive water entry? Max is a 1-year-old GSP. He loves to swim, but always takes it easy going in. So I first want to mention that an aggressive water entry, though it looks awesome, they're like launching and splashing and it looks so powerful and amazing.
You think about it does. And you think about all the advertising and the photos and the videos and it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
However, I want to caution you and put into perspective that a dog that still loves the water, but enters smoothly and stealthily and, I guess quietly.
Was it that we had that was like a dang
Sage
otter? Yeah, she never jumped in. She would just walk.
She didn't even make a ripple. It was just like,
and then she was swimming, and she just away.
And so the water entry, though it looks cool, it's not always really that beneficial or safe. Even because
there's lots of dogs that get stabbed,
impaled because you go to a new hunting location and you may not know that new property or where you're hunting and know what's under the surface of the water, if there's sharp sticks or a broken off fence pole or anything, any number of things that could really hurt your dog, or heaven forbid, kill your dog by having them impaled when they make one of those really powerful water entries. The other thing is that's a pretty noisy and splashy way to enter the water. So if you've got other birds coming in and they see this ruckus happening at the water, that might flare birds, So having a dog that makes a stealthy water entry.
Or sometimes it does attract birds.
Okay.
Motion on the water.
Okay. I'm not arguing with that. But you can also say that sometimes it can flare birds.
Sure.
But also a dog that enters without dunking their head under the water, making this big splash, they can also keep their eye on the mark and not miss it and lose it when they're making that water entry. So
let's be honest here. That big water entry, all it is style points. And style points don't fetch you more birds.
Correct. And can even potentially be dangerous. Now, some dogs may get more aggressive water entries as they go on, but typically it's just a breeding and personality and temperament type of behavior than anything else.
Not something so much that can be taught.
So, but it was a really good question, and I definitely wanted to touch on that. Do we have time for one more quick question?
Yep.
Okay, one more quick question from Bill Knapp.
It better be a quick one.
It is. On Facebook. Best way to stop creeping on point.
Okay, so this is not a quick one, but we will answer it in its entirety. So the short story is YAWA training. Bill, YAWA training is going to be the key to that. If your dog truly and fully understands YAWA, they're going to stand there when you YAWA them.
And you can reinforce it through collar conditioning to YAWA.
Now, the long story of that, which it's not too terribly long, but the creeping, we have to be evaluating, because I know that you're a wild bird hunter, but birds move. And having the intelligence of the dog to be able to understand when those birds have moved and creep with that, if you will, to stay with the birds is an important part of being a good hunting dog. So
an intelligent bird finder.
When I am hunting wild birds, I do very little wowing and handling unless they really are at a point where they're outside of a comfortable zone for me and lock up on point. Then I'm like, hey, whoa, stand there until I can catch up, and then we'll go together. So in case that bird does end up busting wild, I still have the potential to get a shot off.
Because you get an opportunity to get closer to the dog.
Yes. Now, if the dog is close to me and they start moving in and are intelligently moving with that bird, that's a good thing. It's a good thing for them to know. Now, the last part of that would be if you are actively watching your dog creep in to the point of, like, if you're
pushing
at a pen,
birds out.
Yeah, pushing wild birds out, or you're at a preserve or something to that effect, and they point with their nose basically on the dumb bird, you go, okay, these are all naughty habits and they're not conducive to finding and harvesting more birds. So all of those things considered, YAWA training is the answer, and then being able to understand your dog
and read the situation.
Yep.
So, really good question. It wasn't that long.
No, you were right.
See, yeah. Did you all hear that? You just said I was right.
You say that all the time.
I know, but I need to document it. So that I can
it's on the YouTube forever.
Yeah, so that I can pull up that video clip anytime we're having an argument.
Just repeat it. You were right. You were right.
Yeah.
It's her new ringtone, right?
Maybe.
You were right.
I'll see if
You
I can
were
get
right.
that made into a ringtone. Just for when you call, though.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys, that's all we got for part 2 this week. I appreciate everybody for watching, and we will see you shortly after a quick message from our sponsors.